Xbox One games. Maybe eventually we can go over those, but those aren't as nostalgic as, the older systems. So, I did go to the comic book store today, so, hopefully, this week or next week we can take a look at what I picked up. I did get a little anal retentive when I got home, because I like to, right now I have most of my books in my bedroom, just kind of on top of like the nightstand, and I thought that I had organized them much better than I actually did. So when I got home today and tried to put like the DC Comics with the DC Comics and the Marvel with the Marvel and so on, I realized that I had not really put them with their respective titles. So I kind of went through what I had and what I had picked up and put them in order. So what I got today has kind of been fluxed into what I already had sitting. So we'll go over that, I guess, in another one. So today we'll look at the GameCube games. I used to have more, but at one point I kind of purged some that I hadn't played, just so that I could have them fit all in this one little DVD tower that I had set aside for the GameCube games. I didn't have a huge amount to begin with, but just for the sake of condensing, I had, I think it maybe holds 30 DVDs, so I put all the GameCube games in there and got rid of a few that couldn't fit. One that I know I for sure had, and I'm angry with myself for getting rid of, because now it's very hard to find, is the Zelda, the one where he rides a wolf. I can't remember the name of the game, but, Link, I think, turns into a wolf or has adventures with one. I also had the Wind Waker game, which I remember trying to play when I first got it and just not liking the art style, unfortunately. And I also had Link's Adventure, where it was kind of like Wind Waker, but with 4 Links. I remember them, but I stupidly got rid of them, so. So this first one is The Incredibles. I just picked this one up for my daughter, because we went to see Incredibles 2 at the Bargain Theater, and she got into The Incredibles pretty good there for a while when she was about 6 or 7, so at the time, I don't think there was a game out yet. Eventually we got the Lego Incredibles game, and she loved that, but for a little bit there, this was about the only Incredibles game that was available, so I picked this one up secondhand just so she could play. It's okay, it's a little too hard for her, quite honestly, and honestly it was a little hard for me at times. There were some levels where even I wasn't sure how to get past what was going on, so oh, that one's very dusty. this is Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I like this 4 out of 5 on the cover. I mean, that's not bad, but I don't know if it's worth slapping on the cover of your game. But this one, I remember, this was like the big Hulk breaks everything game. Really, the big part of it was simply that you could destroy more or less anything. You could jump on buildings and bounce off buildings and break, everything. So at the time, this was like the big, impressive, oh my gosh, it's a whole game and you get to do stuff. Because up until then, a lot of the games, especially I believe they had a movie game, a lot of them were just very, the Hulk had powers, but he wasn't ever let loose. So that one got good scores simply because you could destroy so much and you had so much leeway on what you could do. Now this looks like something to put on the cover of your game, Game of the Year. So this is Beautiful Joe. It's like a 2D scrolling fighter game. It has all these little cinematic pieces, so basically the story for this game was Joe is like a movie buff, and he gets sucked into this movie, and part of the game is you have powers that can make you, like fast forward, or I think there's one where you can kind of pause the game, quote unquote. This was fun. It's very lively and it's very colorful. It has a really neat art style. I remember it getting pretty hard after a while. I don't think I got too far. I think my brother played it a while too, and he didn't get horribly far either, but he had more patience for Beautiful Joe than I did. This is TMNT Ninja Turtles. This is the game that came out when they did the Ninja Turtles movie. From about, I guess, 2001 it says on, 2007, somewhere in there. But if you've never seen it, there was a Ninja Turtles movie in this art style that came out where it was basically a sequel to, I want to say, Ninja Turtles 2, because in it they reference things that happened in the original Ninja Turtles movie from the 80s. I liked the movie myself. It's not super adult, it's maybe teenage level and above, but at the time I got this game because, if you're like me and a kid from the 80s, you love Ninja Turtles and you remember all the great beat-em-up games, and that's basically what that one is. Basically just a beat-em-up. This is Metroid Prime. I remember when GameCube came out, this was kind of a big deal, just because at the time the graphics were considered pretty amazing. And really when you look at it, it's on par with those first Halo games. And Samus could turn into the ball and roll around. I got an okay bit into this game. I did not finish it. I just got to a point where I can't remember if there were like power-ups, but yeah, it says upgrades. So I think I got to a point where I kind of needed basically just live a very laissez-faire life in a village with some animals. There's not much to it. You go fishing, you pay off your house, which is really the only kind of sign of real life. You have a mortgage, more or less. But you go fishing, you take things to the museum for blathers, stuff like that. You can talk to the other animals. Sometimes they move out. My daughters played this one after a while, especially if you're not, like, she moved into my village because I didn't want to delete mine. I spent lots of time getting that to where it was, but when she moved into my village, unfortunately, there's not as much for her to do. She can pay off her house and make it bigger and put stuff in it, but the portion of the game where you're fishing or catching bugs or finding fossils to put in the museum, I don't know, I always thought that was the funnest part. She didn't really get to experience that like I did, because my museum was more or less full. So unless she catches a whale, or just some sort of bug I never saw, there's a handful. Unfortunately, won't be as exciting for her. One thing I'll share, because you can send letters to these other, little guys that are in your village. I remember, basically you can send them gibberish. They don't know. I remember one time I wrote just the dirtiest, most screwed up letter to like a female squirrel, like just horrible things. And that stupid squirrel, like, my wife had this game too, and she had her own village because she had her own memory card. So one day, we found out you could visit other people's towns. So she got on the train and visited my town. And what I didn't know was that these animals, they save your letter and they will show it to people. So my wife was talking to the squirrel, and she said, "Let me show you this letter I was sent." And it was horrible. And my wife was like, "Why would you write? Why would you write that?" And I was busting up laughing because, I just wrote it because you have to send them letters sometimes to progress the game. I never thought it would come back to bite me. This is Super Smash Brothers Melee. I don't have as many fond memories as I do with the regular Smash Brothers for this one. Not to say it's not a good game, because it is, but that original Smash Brothers is just so iconic that this one's pretty good. You can get little trophies and earn new characters. This is the one my daughter plays because she likes it. And recently, just like a few days ago, she was playing, and we got Ganondorf, because I guess we played enough verses that we had reached whatever level where he would show up, and I had to take the controller from her and basically really try to kill Ganondorf, because he's kind of like he's a Captain Falcon clone, which I didn't know until I played with him later. But he was pretty powerful. He kept grabbing my Pikachu midair and kicking him in the face, and eventually, I think quite some time later, it was released. Yeah, see, it says, two of the greatest games of all time, Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, are fused together. So basically they released this after the second Metal Gear game on PlayStation. Unfortunately, I've never played through this one. I basically just got it because I didn't have a PlayStation. That was my brother's, and I played this and loved it. So, you know, when they made this, I had to go pick it up. Maybe at some point I'll play through it because, I mean, Metal Gear Solid is just a classic. Next is Luigi's Mansion, which I believe was the initial game that came with the system. This one's pretty fun. I played through the whole thing, so I did beat that one. My daughter hasn't played it yet because she's easily scared, and I believe that one would probably be a little too much for her. This is Mario Power Tennis. We had Mario Tennis on the N64. This one is, I find it to be a little less fun just because it gets a little kooky. Mario Tennis on the N64 was really a pretty straightforward tennis game, and Power Tennis adds a whole bunch of crazy, you know, more Mario-inspired things. This is Mario Soccer, which, if you want just a simple soccer game, you know, kind of like the old Nintendo games, this is just a 4-on-4, and, you know, not much to it. There's pass, there's shoot, you know, you can steal the ball from people. It's just straightforward fun to pick up and play. Mario Kart, of course. Double Dash is the one where they started having two people in the cart. I always play as the Koopas because on the original Mario Kart, I loved Koopa, and then he was left out for a long time, and then he came back here, and I kick butt with the Koopas, so. This is gonna have to be 2 parts, I think, because we are running out of time on my recorder here, so we're gonna do one more and save the rest for a part 2. So this one is Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door. I just loved the initial Paper Mario on the N64, so when this came out, I picked it up. I don't remember if I ever really started playing through it. My daughter a couple times has started it, but initially when she did, she could not read, and these are basically reading heavy RPGs, so she put it down, and then this past week she put it in again. But even though she is a voracious reader, she didn't like that this video game was forcing her to read, so maybe I'll play that one on my own one day. So that's it for today, guys. I will do the remainder in a video, hopefully later this week.